not a Negro, black, colored, African American. I'm a Moorish American. Peace.
Yeah. Hey, 5 on the right, 2 on the left, man. You know what time it is. Yo. We just Moors in America, soar through the shores and endure criminal acts of war on our character. 7 years after the 4th score, no reward. Shout out to the most courageous, they was jumping over barriers. Where does that compare to you? We come from a place where you scared to visit our area. We come from a place where it's scary for good Samaritans. Heavy luggage we carrying, babies having babies. It's crazy being American. Praise the one and only Allah, there's no comparison. La ilaha illa Allah, body and buried gin. Laughing at you clowns like ha-ha, dodging the Nephilim. Conquer lower self with the high, follow your regimen. Way before they came we were gods and now we specimen. Tried to take the light from our eyes, thank God for Edison. Then they put the wool on our eyes, it's so embarrassing. Now we travel frequently, we should invest in Sheraton. All of us got gold on our bodies whenever we stepping in. Screaming Ramadan, Mubarak, training the flesh again. Wishing we could move as a unit just like the Mexicans. Dodging all the foods with estrogen, synthetic medicines. All sin isn't devilish. Sometimes the decisions that you make come for a better gift. Sometimes when you sin is to relate to all your brethren. Heavenly gates all in our face, we the champions. We live in the sky, we see the angels on the chariots. Waiting on the $20 bill, facing Harriet. I bet you I'ma carry it. I'm in love with music to the point I wanna marry it. But my love for people is greater, so I write messages. Largest spending power, but we still sit at a deficit. Living amongst prejudice, even at our residence. Moors in America, flourishing, excellent. Let's buy up some neighborhoods and groom our own president. Yeah. And I come to you today with all intentions of spreading love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Peace. We're gonna go live. This is gonna be a short video, but hopefully it will be impactful. We're just gonna speak on some issues, some of the things that are going on right now that affect everybody, or that could affect everybody, and put it in the proper perspective. So I just want to share something with you. I just ask that everybody watching this clicks the like button and shares this. Make sure you share this. And one thing that I wanted to talk about, to hit on the protests and the riots that are going on. If you didn't get a chance to, I suggest you check out the video from yesterday with the brother Sharif and Neil Bay. It was a great video. A lot of great information was shared in there. Very eye-opening. Definitely everybody needs to go. After you watch this, go watch that one. Make sure you share that. Okay, but we're gonna speak on some stuff, and like I said, hopefully this will help to open some eyes and enlighten everybody. Okay, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna share this screen with you real quick, and I want y'all to check this out. Okay, so hang on a second. Let me pull that back up. So the reason I'm sharing this with you, for those that don't know, we have the page on YouTube. In addition to this, if you're watching it on YouTube, we're also on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook but you didn't know we're on YouTube, we're also on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. We're also on Twitter. But definitely follow on all those platforms, all right? Just so that you can help share this information. More people that are looking at this stuff and sharing it, the faster it can get out. Somebody had just sent an email a message on the side on the Instagram, just saying like how, you know, nobody's talking about this stuff, and I was just letting her know like that's why I created this platform. All right, there's also a website for those that don't know. Go to moresinamerica.com. Okay, there's a website filled with information that they don't teach in schools, that they don't talk about on the news, that nobody's talking about. And I was just, I'm gonna read my response, because basically the sister was just, you know, she's frustrated because nobody's speaking up on a bigger platform, nobody's telling and stuff. And I just said, look, this is our platform. It doesn't get any promotion because it's real and it's grassroots for real, from the people, by the people, right? I'm a real person, you know, and created this to get the information out. And the reason they're not going to promote it, it's not going to be in the mainstream, and these fake celebrities and fake leaders aren't going to speak on anything real, and especially the fact that we're Moors and that this is our land, and we've been here longer than anyone, that we didn't all come from just West Africa, just a general location, no real people, no tribes, no nations, nothing. They don't speak on that. Some of them know that we are in a stateless position where we're at, you know, the bottom of things, from a social political perspective, because of the fact that we're willingly going by a label that was created to keep us there, to disconnect us from who we truly are. All right, and that's the main reason why we're still here. And so there's people who know this, and they're not going to say anything. All right, and they're not going to say anything because they're getting paid by and propped up by the system that is built off of our ignorance. The fact that we're Moors, the fact that you're a Moor means that you descend from the creators of civilization. And we're right at home. We're indigenous to the Americas. Okay? And so they can't promote it because of taking oaths and sworn, the ones who know, not to reveal this. And then also because it means the downfall of white supremacy, the fake entitlement people are running around with. Just all of this is built off of us not knowing who we are. Okay, you know who you are, it pulls the rug right out from under this stuff. All of this stuff ceases to exist. And so that's why I created, you know, my own platform for us. All right, that's what Moors in America is about. So if you haven't been to moresinamerica.com, you need to go there. What are you waiting on? Go to the website. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull that up right now before I show you this that I was going to talk about. You see that? You see the little thing up here? You know you're at the real site because you see the Moor head, right, with the bandana. Okay, so this is us. Everybody needs to bookmark this, share this. You need to send this to as many people here as possible. And then also on Instagram and on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Okay, all of that. All right, so you should be on all of these fronts. You know, it's growing, it's good as a lot of people, but it's not getting the promotion. All right. We are the only ones that promote it. And so that's why this was created, to get the information out. Instead of waiting and hoping that some fake celebrity or some fake leader, you know, because the leaders are failing us, all of them, right? Instead of hoping and praying that they're going to speak out and reveal the truth, nah, forget that. We did it, all right? So everybody needs to be subscribed to the YouTube, liking the Facebook page, following on Instagram and Twitter and all that, and sharing all of this stuff. Okay, because we're the ones who are going to get it out. That's it. Can't depend on anyone else to reveal the truth about us. Okay, and so also going to speak on something that I think everybody needs to know, be aware of, so that we're not getting caught up out here. I don't want anybody getting caught up out here. It's not a joke. This stuff is serious. Matter of fact, go back and watch a couple of videos on here. The last 5 or 6 videos. You know, some of them might, you know, they give you a broader perspective on what's going on. Definitely things that aren't being talked about, you know, by mainstream media, and then not being talked about by anyone else, because no one is going to bring it home like we do, right? No one's going to include all of this, including the Moorish American perspective. Okay? And then, you know, not trying to sell some bogus paperwork or anything like that either. So, you know, you're just getting the raw truth here. So we advise everyone to make sure you share this, like this, and then also follow up with the website too. So I'm gonna share this video though. This is something that I saw on Twitter, and I just shared it on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm showing you this for a reason. First off, it's some people, I think they're in Minnesota, where there's protests going on, either Minnesota or Phoenix, and they're videotaping how there's just a stack of bricks on the corner, right? Conveniently, just stacked there, so that people on the sidewalk, so that people can go and use them, you know, throw them through the windows, the car windows, just start creating, you know, just chaos, right? And so they're conveniently there. And here, we're going to show you this, though. All right. There's no audio yet, so just hang on. Audio.
Setup.
Where the
This the setup.
They put them there on purpose,
Y'all know where
bro.
we at.
They gonna set them hoes right up on the route.
Y'all know what building this is
Come
right
on
here.
now.
I ain't even gonna say what name it is.
Hey, where do them bricks go to? Where do them
This
bricks
is
go
setup.
to? Where do them bricks
We gotta
go
do
to?
better.
Ain't no damn
We
construction.
gotta do better.
Ain't no damn construction around here.
I see.
Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay.
Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better.
Okay, so he just saying, like, he was just there. He knew that there was no construction or anything going on there. There's no reason. And even if they were doing construction, like, they can't just sit bricks out like that. There's rules. There's regulations. You know, it's got to be covered. Or, and, you know, there's rules. It can't just be sitting there. So there's, like, they're there for the protest, for the rioters, so that people can get themselves caught up, so that martial law can be declared and all of these other things can go on. So I'm not going to go into all the conspiracies as to why there's another element out here that wants to do this. Is that if you want to see more about that, go look at the other video just from yesterday on the same channel, with speaking with the brother Sharif Anil Bey. We talked about that. Okay, so there's several reasons why they would be pushing for this chaos, and especially right now. Okay, but I just wanted you to see this because this is what's really going on. Okay, and even though you may not see the culprits, you might go to a protest and you don't really see anything going on. All right, but there's people there who are many times undercover law enforcement, and then you also have people, you know, people who are white supremacist groups, people who are working for private security firms who are literally coming to the protests.
Real terrorists.
All right, and matter of fact, we had just shared a video, or now a link, I think, from the Washington Times. Undercover cop beaten. Okay, so there was a protester, right? Now this happened in St. Louis. Okay, we just shared this yesterday though. It was covered by all the news outlets. This is from a St. Louis paper, but it was in the Washington Post. There, okay, I'll show you that because that's more official, right? Washington Post. Okay, it says still a blast, beating people, blah, blah, blah. So these people are protesting some Asiatic man, so-called black man who lost his life. You see the Black Lives Matter signs. Well, the officer who did it was acquitted, so the people are protesting. And St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department officer Dustin Boone wasn't prepared for the unrest. He was pumped. It's going to get ignorant tonight, he texted the day of the verdict. It's going to be a lot of fun beating the hell out of these blank heads once the sun goes down and nobody can tell us apart. This is what an officer was texting. Okay? And so they beat one of these so-called black protesters. I'm going to say Asiatic because we know that black did lose to slavery. So these four officers of European descent beat this guy. Okay? He was an undercover officer. This is in the Washington Post. They had no idea this guy was a 22-year police veteran working undercover. They beat him so badly he couldn't eat and lost 20 pounds. Okay? So they wound up getting charged for that because, hey, you got a cop this time. But he was an undercover. And the reason I'm sharing this is because this is not a conspiracy theory. For those of you like thinking that, hey, that sounds too crazy. Okay, I guess you have to subscribe to this article. Let me see. Man. Okay, so anyway. This article is also talking about the same thing. You saw it from the Washington Post, though. Okay? So you saw it from the Washington Post. But basically, you have a guy who looks like us, who's out there protesting, and he gets beaten, and it turns out he's a 22-year veteran of the police force working undercover. Why is he out there? I don't know. Didn't go into the specifics of it. Okay?
All this is going on. Come on, he's out there for that cause.
Okay, so the guy's out there and he gets beat. I'm just showing you that to show you that it's been documented. You got undercovers out there. And then you got people who aren't even law enforcement. They work for private security firms. Anybody ever heard of Blackwater? They all came into Louisiana when Katrina hit, and they were all down there keeping order, killing people that look like us, making sure our people didn't get out and couldn't escape the flooding, right? So you got people like this who are like ex-military, who go into the security firms, and they get jobs, and they get paid a lot of money by people like that guy that was just up. They get paid by people like this George Soros guy to come out here and to do whatever security job they pay to do. This is just a post online, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But it says a friend of mine's an officer in Minneapolis saw Soros, George Soros, who's a billionaire, who financed Black Lives Matters, right? And if you saw the George Soros dude, he looks like the Emperor from Star Wars, you know? Like seriously, like look at this guy, right? Look at this guy. He cares about Black lives. Are you crazy? And not only Black lives, he's financing like every counterculture type movement, like in different countries. Like he's like an octopus, you know? He's got his tentacles all over the world. Okay? And so yeah, this guy puts millions of dollars behind Black Lives Matter. So that's why you have people who literally, like, they don't even work. They don't even have real jobs. All they do is go and protest. They show up at the protests and they get paid really well to do it. Okay? This guy. That's George Soros. So you can't trust it. And so this guy's saying that Soros flew in paid agitators to cause chaos. The deep state wants to take advantage of this situation and start a race war before the election. Antifa and Black Lives Matter are domestic terrorist organizations that need to be stopped. So when you hear stuff like, you know, Donald Trump sending in the National Guard to help keep order, you know, and you're thinking, oh, they want to stop the black folks. You know, I'm not saying Donald Trump's perfect and he's all wonderful, but I'm saying it's not all what you think it is. Okay? You have people, there's a whole fight going on that has nothing to do with you. You have people who are trying to get him out of office like this for their own purposes. You know, so they can keep eating babies and doing all this despicable, horrible stuff they got going on unchecked. And they see him as a threat. So they want to start the race war. Like you see on this meme, the pandemic isn't working anymore. Go ahead and start the race war. You know, this is not a joke. It's not a joke. All right? This is really going on. And you see how crazy he looks. But like in real life, you have people doing this, and they're putting resources behind it. This guy put like 40 million behind Black Lives Matters, right? So it's getting resources. It's not just some grassroots movement from the people. It's got real money and power behind it, right? And I was sharing this because I realized that all of our people aren't on the level, and that's okay. That's all right. I'm cool with that. But I just want to share it to help get the word out, because then I see stuff like this. Right, look at this. Ignorance. Like this dude, it says Killmonger, and he says, nah, F that. Who gives, you know, about how, who gives blank how they got there? Quit being scared and use them, or stay the F home. All right. And so this dude is, you know, like, I hope he's joking around. That's crazy. You know, for all I know, this ain't even a real person, right? But the reason I'm sharing that is because you got a video where people are here who've been at this building before, who lived there, who's like, these bricks weren't there. Why are they conveniently stacked here during the protests? To agitate, to get the riot going. And this guy gonna say, nah, F that. Who cares how they got there? Quit being scared and use them, or stay home. Like, that's crazy. That's just like, there's a video where this brother from Chicago, who like used to be in the streets, used to be a gangbanger, and he's talking about how they would go to an alley once a month and there would be a crate of guns there. Just conveniently put there. Right? Who's putting it there? But if you listen to this guy, nah, F that. Who cares how they got there? Quit being scared and use them or stay home. Like, what? But this is the mentality, right? Now, who cares how these guns got there? Let's go on and kill each other with them.
Yeah,
who cares?
That's some ignorant.
They got put in our hood. They in this crate, y'all. Man, I don't care how they got there. Free guns. We can kill each other with them. Let's go get these guns, y'all.
That's that Negro mentality.
Man, let's get these guns, man. Man, we can kill these fools, man. That's what they thinking.
Yeah, that's that Negro mentality.
That's how you thinking, like a straight up slave. That's what black does mean, slave. Black lives don't matter. They really don't. Black has nothing to do with who we are as a people. It was something that was created. It's a slave. It's something that starts as slavery. So this person conveniently has no pictures. They got a bunch of memes and all this super duper black power stuff.
Super duper Asian man.
Right?
Deport them.
But that's the same mentality that keeps you behind, that keeps you being used and abused like a pawn. So man, who cares how these bricks got here, man? Man, get out there and break some windows, man. Like, what is that gonna do? What is that gonna do for anyone? You think this is the first time there was a protest and riots? Like, what's wrong with the memory? The connection ain't being made? Y'all don't know this just happened 2 years ago, and then it happened a year or two before that? Like, the whole time Obama was in office, this was like every year. It was like the 8 years Obama was in office, it was just nothing but hell. I was living overseas, right? But this is what I'm getting from the people living here. They're like, man, it's scary. They don't know what's going on. The Trayvon Martins, everybody's getting killed, gunned down. Tamir Rice, little 12-year-old boy that most of y'all done forgot about, you know, in Cleveland, you know, got shot. He outside playing with a BB gun. The cop just pulled up, killed him in 2 seconds, right? Then you got the people getting blasted. They not even getting killed by police, and the people were still getting off, right? And so these protests was going on, and people sometimes would riot, and they break stuff, and nothing happened. There's nothing on the table. There's no, demands. We need these laws. We need our own, we need like our own board, like a, anti-defamation league. We need something to protect us, to make sure that these people are suffering, that this system is actually changing. But nah, F that, man. Man, I don't care how they got there. Just get the bricks. Just get out there, man. Get out there, man. Like, that's crazy. That don't make no sense. See, we gotta talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Because people is coming like ignorant, and that makes no sense. And it's not gonna get you anywhere, right? And so, like, sharing the memes online, you got some people who, like, this all they do. They put out all this super duper stuff online, and they encouraging and agitating, and then in real life, they might look like this, right? They don't even look like you. They're just putting this out there to agitate, because that's their job. Why? Because they're on this guy's payroll. They literally get paid to put out posts. And then to go out and put a little hoodie on like that. There's a video where this guy had a hood on, and he's got a mask on his face, and he's just breaking windows in the AutoZone. And the people that know the man, because you can see his face, it's a plastic mask. You can see his face. The people that know him, like, he's a police officer. Tall, European dude. Okay? So you can't trust this. And then that's so ignorant. It's so stupid. And, like, this is all, like, this super duper black power stuff. But it's like, they better not have Marcus Garvey on here, because Marcus Garvey advised against all change done. Because government, no matter what, has to quell the rebellion. Right? Government has to keep order, no matter what. Right? So all this stuff might sound cool and everything. Right? But it's just the internet is fake. And, like, in real life, you can't do this. Okay? So, that's really why I wanted to share it. Because you see this, F that. Who cares how they got there? What? A pile of bricks at a protest. If I was even, like, didn't know better, and I was at a protest and I saw this, I'm going to put 2 and 2 together, like, this is a setup, man. How they got a a pile of bricks here, just conveniently waiting here for us. Like, that's crazy. It's just like if I was in the hood like that, and they're like, yo, let's go here to get these guns, and there's just a crate of guns sitting there, if nothing else made me wake up, that would have made me wake up like right on the spot. Like, no, nah, this don't make no sense. Like, you can't, it's just like you go to, let's go here. They got a crate of just, they got a crate of cocaine here. Just pure, raw, uncut. We just go here and get it for free so we can go and sell it to our own people. But like, nah, something wrong with this. Yeah, like a video game, right? Like the Moabites just said, this ain't Grand Theft Auto. So this is like the people playing the video game so much. They starting to think this is like in real life where you just tap the screen and boom, just a pile of drugs show up. Boom, boom, pile of ammunition. Oh, shoot, we got some bricks right here. You don't have to do anything. It just appears out the blue and y'all use it and you're not thinking about the consequences of nothing, right? Because you got extra lives. Like this is really like what people are thinking. And in real life, it's like, nah, you getting played. The people who sat it there, they're thinking like 20 steps ahead of you. You like, nah, I don't care how they got there. And they know you think like that because they know you're a slave at the end of the day. They know you're a slave and they know you're not smart enough to think 2 steps ahead. So you surely aren't going to think, on the level they're at. They're like, we build all this for you. We create everything. You produce nothing. You do nothing. You are a useless eater. Okay? And so at the end of the day, this video isn't made to save the world because he can't get it to everyone. Everyone can't take it. Some people, like, this is probably just the agent, agitator, paid to put out misinformation, right? But, like, in real life, some people do feel like this. And some people are just here to die. And so I know you can't get it to everyone. But for those who aren't, just so like stuck that you just dumb as a doornail, think about this. Look, man, I just got an alert on my phone like earlier talking about how downtown where I live at, police just declared it an emergency. Don't go downtown. Right? And I get that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going downtown. I got to let my other Moors in my area know so that we, like, none of us are, like, getting caught up in this. Because, we're Moors. We're the creators of civilization. We can't be thinking like this. We can't be thinking like slaves. All right, we have to know better. Like, I don't care how emotional it gets, how bad it seems. We know that we living in the last days, and we know that this is how it's going to be. This was already, you could say, preordained. It was already foretold that things would be like this. All right? It's already set in stone. Okay? So this is the times that we're living in. We get that. All right? And so you keep it moving. We build and do what we have to do to make things better. But nah, going and get a stack of bricks that's conveniently placed for you, nah, that's not getting it done. Going in the alley to get the free guns so you can kill each other, so you can go kill your people, that's not getting it done, bro. That's population control, and you just participating in it. So everybody, make sure you following the Facebook page. This was on Facebook and Instagram. All right, Moors in America on Facebook. There's also a Moors in America group. You should be in all these places. The website, you need to get out there and share this because, like, this needs to get out, especially right now. Like, there's something going on, okay? And so it's important that this information gets out. So you need to take part. You need to do your part and help share this, like, for real, man. And on Instagram, you need to go up there, click that follow button, and share these posts. All right, help get the word out. Everybody's not dumb. They just need to know. They just need to be shown there's something else going on here. Okay? But, like, you going to let this dude play you? And people like this? You're going to let people like this continue to play you. Right? He's like, oh, just put a stack of bricks out there for the Negroes. For the Black Lives Matters Negroes. They don't think. They'll just use the bricks and break the windows and, then we can start the race war. And that's what they do. Okay? And you can't go along with that. And you can't go along with that and claim to be smart or woke or whatever you want to call it. All right? So it's time to wake up for real. Like this post says, wake up, Moors. It's a setup. Don't be a pawn. Stay woke. It's a setup. All right? It really is, man. So now and for the people out there who's looking for their marching orders, like who's like, man, I want to get out there. You know, you mad, you're upset, you're hurt, you're angry. All right, this is what you do, man. We have to organize. You know, if you don't know any temples, mores anywhere near you, go ahead and reach out to the page. Just reach out to me, and I'll send you some information. But you need to build in real life off of the internet. We don't need to put everything that's being done out here. You know, and I'm not saying like it's some covert secretive stuff. You might be building a school, you know, so that you can start educating your children, you know, and the children in your community. All right. I'm not saying that like we plotting and planning in secret. I'm just saying everything ain't for the internet. Let's just do it in real life. OK. Right. And so that's what needs to be done, like in real life, off of the internet, not putting all our business out there, because forget them. They're not telling you why they putting the bricks there. They just do it. They don't get online. The person who's behind putting this stack of bricks there, they're not, okay, we're going to put a stack of bricks at the corner of 54th and 9th. They don't say nothing. They just do it. It's there, and then they get their desired result from it. All right, so just need to do it. Off the internet, and people need to stop thinking if it's not online, it's not real. That's stupid. Most of the stuff online is fake. All the celebrities you see, all that stuff is fake. Reality TV, if you think reality TV is real, you shouldn't even be watching this video, because that means you're stupid. All that stuff is plotted and fake. Okay? It's all fake. So everything you're seeing on TV and stuff, it's been plotted out and written out and planned out for you. All right, and it has a purpose, whether it's to entertain, to dumb you down, whatever. It's all put there for you to consume. And so the internet's like that too. So you just need to build off of the internet with real people, and all of these little problems will melt away, because it's all built off of us not doing that and not knowing who we are. So that's the advice that I have. Like I said, this is a short video. I'm not going to be dragging this on longer than it needs to be, but I just did want to get that info out there. Okay, we can't afford to be dumb. Okay, we can't. So somebody said where in Hawaii. I'm not sure, but I can tell you this: there may be some Moors in Hawaii. I can connect you with the temple, but even if there aren't, you can get on our Zoom calls. We're doing Sunday school tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just send me a message on the side, and I'll give you the info so you can join in and we can talk and we can build from there. For all I know, you're gonna build with the other Moors, the other Asiatics, because the indigenous Hawaiians are Asiatic people. They're Moors, right? So what I was saying is, you can get on a call with us, you can build with us, and we can take it from there. Okay, maybe you'll wind up opening a temple out there where you're at. Okay, but that's what we need to do, and I advise that for everyone, not just that brother or sister that just said that, but like the last king of Hawaii, King Kalakaua, he was a Moor, and it was obvious. And then like I don't remember his sister's name, but if you look at her, like, she's dark skinned. She was even darker skinned than him, and her hair was like, kinky. It's like she was a Moor. Okay, so the true indigenous Hawaiians are Moors. Okay, and that's a known fact. We even got a picture of King Kalakaua with the fez on, fully garbed out. Okay, and so like there's no questioning that. That's ancient Mu. That was a part of Lemuria. All of that was us. Okay. And it's undeniable. So like, regardless of where you're at, whether you're in Trinidad or Jamaica or wherever, get with us. Let's go ahead and get it popping. Okay, and then of course, anywhere you are in the United States, let's get it popping. All right, Moors, the people so-called black people, right, of the Americas, they changed our name so much it's stupid. Negro, black, colored, now we're black and African American. Those people, Moors. All the so-called Caribbean people, so-called Latinos, You know, I'm not talking about the people who live in like Cuba, but their ancestries from like Germany or China. Well, I'm not knocking Chinese; they're Asiatic too. But like, you know, from these other places that moved to the Caribbean, I'm talking about the real people from there, like the indigenous people. You know, like these people are Moors. Okay, Brazilians. The majority of Brazilians, even darker skinned than me. Like I lived there 5 years. I know they're Moors. Okay, we're deep. All right. And that's why this is built off of our ignorance. They've indoctrinated the people in Hawaii as well. They've indoctrinated the people, even like when you go to somewhere like Jamaica, where it's like the majority of Jamaicans are not only the majority of Jamaicans, you know, so-called Africans, right, of African descent. Nothing wrong with that, saying of African descent. But most of them are dark-skinned, right? Not saying everyone is, but I'm just saying, like, even in a country like this, they've been indoctrinated and colonized. They don't even, most of them don't even really know who they are. It's just like most of them are practicing Christianity. Not knocking any religions, but just being real. That was forced on us by the people who colonized our ancestors. Okay, and that portion of Christianity that they gave to us wasn't to enlighten us, to help us realize our potential. Okay? It was given to us to keep us weak and subservient, to make us slaves. All right? And it was a soft core way of taking over. Like, oh, we come in to share this spiritual system. They really come in to overthrow and to take you over, to marry into your bloodlines, to kill and rape. You know, to get, because they when they get with you, it's because then they got rights to the land. They're like thinking on this level, and we're thinking on the level of that dude who's like, nah, F that. Who cares how they got there? Quit being scared and use them. Talking about a pile of bricks. It just shows up out of nowhere like on a video game. Who cares how they got there? Pick them up and use them, fool. Like, dude. Like, please, man, don't tell me you're thinking like that. People that's watching this right now, don't tell me that's you. All right? Because that's slave mentality. All right? And, you know, that's how people got played. Okay? And just what I was talking about, the last royal ruler of Hawaii, Queen Liliuokalani, right? She was the last sovereign ruler of Hawaii. She was Asiatic. Let me see if I can show you this picture. Show y'all this picture. Gonna pull that up for you. All right. Since we talking about Hawaii real quick. Okay. So basically, like, okay, here we go. A little history. Last sovereign ruler of Hawaii. This was her when she was younger. Like, you know, here they try to put that black label on her. Right? Then we have actually in history accounts of Europeans referring to the Hawaiians, talking about there's one who was like, this is just an island full of Negroes. Right? I'm not quoting it exactly, but that's basically what was said, and I don't have the name of who was saying it, but these were by different like Dutch and American who were really European, you know, European colonists over there, right? Okay? And so, you know, island chains just full of our people, just like the other islands in the Pacific, right? What's that island that the one dude's daughter went to? Vanuatu Islands. I'm gonna go back to the Queen, but okay, so you go to Vanuatu. Where is Vanuatu? Where is it? It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Well, okay, so you have a big island chain, right? All of these islands are full of people that we call Asiatics. They would say that they're of African descent, but this is where they're from. Solomon Islands as well. Okay, and so you see this is, okay, off the coast of Australia, kind of. Fiji. Of course, the people of Fiji look like us. Samoans, Samoa, right? So the only reason I'm showing this is just to show you that, like, these are our people. Okay, and then Hawaii right here. So very far from Hawaii. But Vanuatu, what do the people look like? Yeah, I'm showing this because I know a lot of people have never seen this before. Okay? So what do the people look like? Boom. Okay? And they'll say, well, it's because the Africans, they got on boats and they were going on these little boats and they got out here. They don't even know how they got there. You know, or they'll, because the slaves escaped and colonized out. They'll say all types of things if you're stupid enough to believe this, instead of just saying, look, these are the oldest people in the world. That's why everywhere you go, they're already there. That's how come when they came to the Americas, they found people here who look just like this. And we're still here. They didn't kill us off. Duh. They would love for you to be foolish enough to believe that they were able to bring millions of people here and into a hostile territory where they already had to fight the indigenous people and kill them off. But then yet they're able to capture all these people from Africa and bring them here too. So they got 2 wars to fight, right? No. You're talking about people that we just got through civilizing, people who weren't even bathing, who if we didn't come through like in Europe and build universities and build schools, they didn't even have schools. They didn't have royalty either. All of these things came from us. So we came through, civilized them, gave them, writing systems and languages and all of these things. And then boom, all of a sudden they're able to go out. No. Okay. And then the Hawaii, she was the last ruler and it fell because she was obviously she was under attack. Her family, what they do? They baptized her. Boom, gave her a Christian name, right? She had this beautiful name, Liliuokalani, and boom, she was baptized and became Lydia, right? Making tours of the Western world when she was young. Okay, and then she married American-born John Owen Dominus, who was the son of a Boston sea captain and an official of the Hawaii government. So it's like, it's over. Once you got Christianized, you come under the Pope. You're now under the Pope, right? You're a slave. And you just married a European. Boom. It's over. Okay, and so you hear this alert. This is an emergency alert. City that we're in, there's a citywide curfew until 10 p.m. From 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. Citywide curfew. Why? Because people's, protesting. And obviously they have some agitators out there. And they got it popping. Okay? And so, that's crazy. I mean, we got this alert. I just put the phone on silent. We got the alert. Emergency alert right now. You might have it too, depending on where you living at. Right? And so really I was just showing that real quick just to show that the sister was Asiatic. She got Christianized. She married a European. It was over. Okay, but today, I mean, look at her nose and her lips. Her hair, she would be considered so-called African American. If she was here in America, of course, they'll call it black. If she was there, she might be able to say, well, no, I'm Hawaiian because it's where I'm from. But, I'm just saying, just going off of looks, because this is how they did it. I wish I would pull up the Negro Law of 1740. Yeah, I guess I'd do it. Trying not to take up too much time. Now, this is just an example. Of course, this is just one state, the Negro Law of 1740, South Carolina. But let's see if we get... Okay, pull up section 1. All right, so this declares all Negroes and Indians to be slaves. The offspring are following the condition of the mother. Okay, so they're declaring all Negroes and Indians to be slaves. Now, but then it goes even further. It says section 2, under this provision, it has been uniformly held that color is the prima facie evidence that the party bearing the color of the Negro is a slave. Mulatto or mestizo is a slave. So, but the same prima facie result does not follow the Indian color. So they're trying to remove you from the whole claim to the land thing by saying that if you got that color of the Negro, that's proof that you're a slave. Not that you're a Negro. That's proof that you're a slave because Negro means slave. But that does not prove that you are Indian, Because remember, if you look at the definition for American in 1820, I think 8. Yeah. Okay. So, and this was Webster's dictionary, which was a big deal because this was like Webster's. I think this was like their first big comprehensive dictionary. You put in all this work to compiling the definitions. Because remember, when you define something, you own it. So, got that alert going off again, telling you the Negroes is getting unruly. Okay, and so I'm not saying this to belittle it, man. You roll back the video if you just now coming in. But Webster's Dictionary, 1828, the definition of American. This tells you right here, American, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals. Originally, meaning it used to, or copper-colored races. Okay, copper meaning dark brown. Okay, so it's a native of America. It used to apply to the originals, the dark brown skinned people found here by the Europeans, but now applies to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay? So it used to apply to them, but now it applies to us. So they're saying that, you know, and I'm not knocking these two people on this picture you see on this side saying that she's not and she is. Okay? But I am acknowledging that they lightened it up. They keep lightening it up. And so it used to apply to these people, that even the logos, the mascots, which this is from our website, which the so-called, you know, fake Native Americans pretend to be upset about. So angry. They outraged, right? They pretend to be outraged about this stuff, but like they don't even look like the mascot. And it's just a mascot. Like they can whiten it up now if they want to, you know? Look at the Washington Redskins. He's brown. But they mad at Pharrell for wearing the headdress. Okay? And then he apologized. I wouldn't have apologized for nothing. Okay? So like down here in this corner, you see this? Like this is an outrage. This is crazy. Like, do you see this guy? Like Cherokee leader or whatever? He looks nothing like the sister, of course. He looks nothing like copper-colored, brown-skinned, right? So this is what you get now, okay? And this is why, like in Hawaii, they wanted to bring in people from Japan, right, and mix them in. They wanted to do that. They wanted to lighten up and change the complexion of the Hawaiians. Okay, they also try to mix in themselves. Usually when they mix in themselves, they're trying to get the land. Have some right and title to the land. Okay, so not to get too far off from the just what I was talking about before, but this occurred, and the reason I showed that is because they're saying, okay, at this time, because that definition was from 1828, and that just like if you know what was going on in 1828, you'll know why I read that definition. In 1828, you still had this battle between the colonists, the new Americans, the United States of America asserting itself and taking land. They were still at war literally with Indian tribes, so-called Indians, right? And so while this is going on, they're defining American as it applies to us now. It used to apply to y'all brown-skinned people, right? But now it applies to us Europeans born here. And so in the 1740 Act, in Section 2, it shows you that Negro means slave, and that if you have the color, the complexion of the Negro, that you have the status of a slave. All right? But, and also, that color does not serve as proof that you are of the so-called Indian, that you are the indigenous people. Okay? Because they called the indigenous people here Indians. They defined it. They created it. They get to define what it means. Okay? Because the indigenous people here are Indians. That's just some misnomer that they created. And so they're like, well, no, that don't prove that you're Indian, even though by our own definition, the Americans originally are y'all who are brown-skinned. Nah, not anymore. That's what they're saying. Indians and the descendants of Indians are regarded as free Indians in enmity with this government until the contrary to be shown. Blah, blah, blah. It's declared that every Negro, Indian, mulatto is a slave unless the contrary can be made to appear. All right. And the race of slave Indians or of Indians not in enmity with this government is extinct, and hence the previous part of the proviso has no application. the term Negro is confined to slave Africans, the ancient Berbers and their descendants. It does not embrace the free inhabitants of Africa, such as the Egyptians, the Moors, or the Negro Asiatics, such as the Lascars. Okay, and so and then you have several other black laws and black codes and acts that were in alignment with this. And there's a picture of the last king of Hawaii wearing his fez, which he was actually, you know, I guess he was a Shriner. It's got the emblem and everything on there. But the point that I was bringing up to show this is just that the Hawaiians are Moors, just like all of the Asiatic people, the indigenous people of anywhere. All right? It's just the truth. Okay? And so, once again, just don't get caught up in this stuff, people. All right, we got these emergency alerts coming through telling us there's a citywide curfew because of this. That is exactly what they wanted, people. That is exactly what they wanted. Okay, they've been trying to push like this little soft push for having the elections from home. They want to be able to have people mail in their ballot. Why? Because it's easier for them to cheat. Who's the them? Hillary Clinton was really fighting hard to get in office last time around, and she lost. And they weren't expected to lose. And they revealed like some of her emails got out there. So they know that she sent out messages to her people, her different constituents and stuff, saying how her peers, her the different people that she works with and associates with, just letting them know like what's going on. I wasn't supposed to lose, right? So they had it already rigged and set up so they could keep the stuff that they got going on. And Trump, has his own plans, right? And so that's an issue. And so I'm saying, like, don't go for the joke. I mean, like, stay out of it. If anything, you don't have to be up pumping Trump like, oh, he's our man. Fine, but stay out of it. Don't get caught up in the stuff telling you, oh, he's bad, everything he's doing bad. Just stay out of it. Because, like, this is a part of the play. They're really pushing hard for this, okay? And they would love to keep this dragging out for the summer and make it worse. Really had their little race riots and things going on. Race war. They've been pushing for that for years. They want to take your guns away. Mostly from Europeans because they have most of the guns. They want to get that stuff. They just using us as pawns. The race war, they can't really get rid of us. We're just pawns. They kill as many of us as they can, but they can't get rid of us anyway. They need us. So they just using us as a way to fight for power between each other. All right? So, like, you shouldn't be caught up in that. Okay? And so, really, that's the whole reason for this video, just to get that out there to people who maybe weren't seeing this, so that you can put it in a proper perspective. Islam to the Grand Sheikh. Islam, Brother Abdullah said, tell them to stay on high. Stay on high. Fly high above. Right? Isn't that what the Prophet said? Fly high above. Caveat emptor. Don't get caught up in this. Okay? Now, I get everybody's not on that mind state. But if you're a true Moor, all right, you can't get caught up in this. To fly high above, okay, so that you can see things playing out. All right? And you see the destruction, and you know that the people are going to get caught up, but you're not. Okay, so the Moors high above see these plotters, purveyors, the worst that exists, hurl themselves downwards by their own works as the hawks await. Okay? Moors are men upright, independent, and fearless who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. So listen, we always want to keep the prophet out front. All right? Always. Okay? And if you follow this, if you follow his works, if you follow this advice, you will be good regardless. And that's why, like again, I said, regardless of where you are in the world, you can join our call. Okay, you can also join a call. Brother Abdullah, if you want to put your Zoom info in here in the chat, put it in here. Okay? Let the people know. You can join in on that call in the Mecca in Chicago. Listen in Get these lessons and teachers. Go ahead and join and proclaim your nationality and get to work. Okay? Because it's not a game. And I'm going to read this again. Because Moors are men upright, independent, and fearless who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is what? It's not uncertain nor unknown. So it doesn't matter who gets killed and what's going on. We know that our destiny is neither uncertain nor unknown. And we're seeing the stuff play out. And we're not really caught by surprise. Not trying to act all superior, okay? But we have divine insight because the prophet brought us, right? The divine lessons, the divine plan. Returned us to our divine creed, divine meaning of or from God. All right? They are fortified by the impregnable doctrine built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. What's the impregnable doctrine that fortifies us? Fortified, strengthened, right? Islamism, okay? You can't knock it. People who are dwelling on a low level can try to knock it, but they even sound foolish because, you know, Islam is being at peace at oneness with the universe. Islamism is, for the most part, is making this a way of life. Live in it. That can't be attacked. That is universal. We could literally be in another dimension, on another planet, practicing Islamism, and it's going to be loved and respected. It's going to be understood, all right, by all sentient beings, no matter where they are. That's real. That's not limited to one region. It's not limited to the desert, you know, the Middle East. You know, we don't need anybody's permission to practice something that is universal. Nobody can place a limit on Allah, something that is universal, the universal mind, the consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? You can't limit that. So we're fortified by that impregnable doctrine. It can't be corrupted because it's built on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. For somebody just try to join that Zoom meeting, the Zoom meeting starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. We do that every Sunday and Friday. If you want that info, send a message. You can comment on YouTube. All right, or you can comment on the video in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, just send a message to the Facebook page, and we'll get that to you. But back to caveat emptor. It is therefore folly at its greatest height for smelly culprits with their insidious plans to invade such realm. So anyone trying to attack this is already lost. You've already lost. Our destiny is already sealed. Okay? We descend from the creators of civilization. It's just time for us to rise. You can't seal it back up. All right? Because for a while, the people could keep it hidden. You know? They're like, well, we just won't talk about it in the mainstream. We won't tell them who they are. We'll tell them lies. We'll tell them they started at slavery. Well, you could do that, but now the truth is out, and so it's not going to work, and there's nothing you can do about it because this is divine. Okay? So it's folly at its greatest height for the smelly culprits with their insidious plans to invade such realm. They can't attack it. It's pointless. Okay? And so all of this stuff that's going on, stay out of the protests because they don't even have anything on the table. Who's the leader? No one. What's the national agenda? What's the national strategy? Nothing. That's the motto. That should be their motto. No one, nothing. No leaders, no plan, no strategy, no agenda. No one, nothing. No nothing. Right? Just no nothing. Just get out there and get that nervous energy out. Come out here and throw some bricks. All right? Hold a sign. Say you can't breathe. Like that's your mantra to scream out you can't. Like, come on, man. You know, Moors don't do that because we descend from the creators of civilization. We're strong. We're upright, independent, and fearless. I'm not going to say I can't breathe. We're fearless. We can't be conquered. All right? We know our destiny is neither uncertain nor unknown. We can't be stopped. No one can enslave us. We enslaved others. Not that that's something to brag about, but just saying we're not victims. Moors aren't victims. Period. Point blank. We're strong. All right? Real men, real women. We don't back down. We're not out here victims begging, saying our lives matter. That's slave talk. That is for slaves. I'm not trying to belittle anything that anyone's going through. I understand, but rise up to the Moorish mindset. Try it. Don't start yourself off as slavery. We really have no beginning or ending. God in man, Allah in man, God body. Okay? That's what you're talking about when you're talking about the Moors. Man, I wish I had some of the old fortresses and just the magnificent buildings that are still here in existence, that are just immaculate. And the ceilings are like 100 feet, 200 feet up in the air. And it's like, who was inside of these buildings? Were they built for giants? You have things that are built out of solid rock, like in, hang on a second. Maybe I could pull some of this stuff up. Built out of solid rock, just an amazing, built out of the side of mountains, and then they're immaculate, and the ceilings are up all high. And these are our ancestors. This is what we descend from. Okay? So, look, the reason I'm sharing this is to say this is what we descend from. We can't be defeated, right? We're amazing. So we're not, here to play the victim or to take part in anything like that. Okay? It doesn't fly. And, we're back. We know who we are, so there's no going backwards. There's just no going backwards. All right, Moors stand up tall and strong. And we don't co-sign on any of that victim mentality, playing the victim, none of that stuff. All right, that does nothing for us. We know who we are, so it's over. I'm going to go ahead and finish up caveat emptor and end out on that. But they try and try, but their own bad planning brings down wrath upon their heads, like the sword old Damocles had. Intrigue and scurrilous cunnings find a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whose latent powers are abundant and unknown and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any moment. This is showing, too, that the Prophet was a mastermind. He understands the power of positive thinking, the words that you speak, so that you create your reality, okay? And so even if our people at the time were not showing these character traits because we had fallen so far away from what our ancestors were, because you are who your ancestors were. So even though that was in the past, that's still in you. You have the capacity for it. So he's calling it out, and he's calling it out of their DNA, which means that their children will get a little closer to it, and then their grandchildren will be able to fulfill that. Or maybe it'll have to go to their great-grandchildren, okay? But it's coming out. He's calling it out. And that's how come we're on this and we're not playing around with it. If anyone is out here playing around with this, they're going to get eaten alive. And I'm not saying it just because of me, because there's a lot of people who's not playing games out here. All right? Like, if you're in some type of position and you ain't doing nothing, you ain't going to be there for long. And if you're real, you just bow down like, okay, I need, get somebody else in here that could actually get things done. Because we're not here to play games. All right? This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whose latent powers are abundant, unknown, and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any moment. Prophet Noble Drew Ali knows the people within his ranks who are interested. They are the vanguard of the Moor movement as the Moorish hordes increase here in America. All of the Moors are active, not passive. A member's interest can only be in one direction, and having traveled over the roads years before the Prophet knows where every member is along the road. A few feet below is another road where schemers work, where traitors grin and culprits bask in the sun. They think they are on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors are high above on a pinnacle where they might view the destructionists as they fall for the last time and their bones bleach in the sultry midday sun. Hungry scavengers flying high, catch scent, devour, and leave, crying out, caveat emptor, cast out the dead carcass. The Moors high above see these plotters, purveyors, and the worst that exists hurl themselves downwards by their own works as the hawks await. The hawks await. Okay, so we're seeing this happen, and just putting the word out, just as a warning, just so that everybody who's ready for this can get on that level. Okay? Don't get caught up in here. We keep getting these stupid emergency alerts. Not belittling that, but, you know, it's just like you shouldn't be getting caught up in that, period. Okay? And once again, for the people out there, go ahead and join us on the call. You need that information, just send us a message. If you're on YouTube, just comment on the video, and we'll get you that info for the Zoom call. Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also on Friday, same time. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and end out. And forgive me, I didn't open up properly, but we always rise. We always give the highest praise to the Most High, the Father of the universe, Allah. We always give honors to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for returning our divine creed to us. All right? Without whom we wouldn't even know that we were Moors. We also give honors to the forerunner to the prophet, our brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to everything Moorish, and all of you L's and Bays out there, Islam to you. Give you all love, greet you with Islam, and then we're gonna end on peace and love. Everybody make sure you click like and share. We're out.